The boy Dub Deuce in the building.
All right, what up, what up, what up? It is that guy Dub, and I'm back with another video. How you guys doing at the end of the day? Shout it, I'm good money. Now today, we've got a special guest in the building. Miss K, how you doing? Welcome to the show. There's definitely pee in the dating pool.
I am good. Thank you for having me.
So we're gonna start off with what's been your experience with the dating pool?
Oh my God. Oh my God. The dating pool. A lot of delusional. Like I know a lot of people say women are delusional, but the more I date, the more I am finding out how delusional men really are. It's just it's quite an experience. Quite an experience.
It's very interesting because like so far on this platform, I've been able to host a few people, and I've ran into some weird ones as well. Because I try to be all inclusive. Especially it's 2024, so we can't judge anybody, anything like that. So I'm all inclusive, and so I've had men reach out to me that are not straight, and I'm like, yo, you want to be on my show? And I'm getting unsolicited D pics in my DMs, and I'm just like, is that what women go through? I'm like, Jesus, what?
Yeah, that is definitely a thing that women go through. Like, we haven't even had a conversation. I have gotten D pics and we even have a conversation. I have got full body nudes, and I'm like, from dudes I have been talking to, but like I'm not into that with somebody I'm just talking to and we haven't even dated or anything. Like not like I'm a prude or anything, but some stuff is specifically for my person. I just don't want randoms just because we done had a couple of dates and you can't even take a person on a date, but you think I want to see your nudes. Like, no, thank you. I'm good on that.
Okay. I've always wanted to ask this question. Like, when it comes to women, what does getting a dick pic do for y'all?
Nothing. For me, I can only speak for me. Nothing at all. Not like nothing. It does nothing at all for me. Like that's not something that excites me at all.
Okay. Now, you said we're seeing all of these shows like the Pop the Balloon show and things like that. You said that like we're getting a lot of these men that are coming off extremely sassy and want to be argumentative with the women. Said like, what goes through your mind when you see that kind of stuff?
Like, I just don't want to date no more. I think I'm over dating because these be some nice looking women, right? That have banging bodies, and I'll be like, well, what the fuck if they don't stand a chance? I think I'm a just like, and not that I'm down on myself, but I'm a very self-aware woman, and these are supposed to be the pick of the litter, and look at what the fuck they get. What I mean, like, do we even have a top tier? And what does top tier mean? Like, does money just make you top tier? Cause I don't, if you have money and you don't know how to respect a woman, you don't know how to talk to a woman, if you just don't know how to talk in general, if you can't switch up from hood to if I'm in a boardroom, how to talk, like what does money have to do with anything? Your personality have to show. And I think Kevin Samuels done fucked a lot of people up.
Oh, don't do that. Do not do that. No, there will be no Kevin Samuels slander on here, man. We are not doing that.
Because I think what a lot of what he say, like it could, for me, it's good and bad and everything, right? And I think you can get some good stuff from Kevin Samuels. I definitely think that. But I believe males are just so delusional and in this world of their own. They're just in a, like, he got a lot of guys thinking that they are top tier guys. And I'd be like, you can't even dress like a top tier guy. I mean, like, you've seen the balloon popping situation. I just watched one this morning and a guy was talking to a lady. She had 3 kids, 2 baby daddies. And I'm top tier man. But I was agreeing with, I forgot what, that's not something you have to say.
Mm,
Normally, presence in your aura will give out like, hey, he's something a little different. And it
mm,
was definitely not for that guy. Like, not at all.
right.
Like, oh, and the lady he was talking to, she was a beautiful lady.
Mm. Now,
I go ahead.
I was gonna say, now you say, now with that being said, you know what I'm saying, just like, okay, because I saw another clip. It was a single father and a single mother, and they were having a conversation.
Mhm.
And the single father asked the single mother a question, and she lost her shit.
I don't
Now
think I got that one.
the question he asked her, he said, "Now, say me and you start dating, how can your children be an asset to me?" And she lost it. Do you think that's a disrespectful question? Do you think that's a fair question, especially if you're talking about blending families?
I don't think it's when it comes to the children, I don't think that's a fair question. I don't feel like it's a disrespectful question, but sometimes people just don't know how to answer stuff
Mm,
and they go right to losing it. Because I don't even know how I would answer that question.
mm,
Like, how will my kids be an asset to you? I could tell you how I could be an asset to you and
mm,
what comes along with me and my kids. But I think if we come together as a blended family, it's me and your job to
mm,
come together as one and decide how we want to move forward as a blended family with all of the children involved.
mm. Well, I think on the flip side of that, you said, because like, say you were to ask me that question, you're like,
Mhm.
well, how would your children be an asset to me? Even though you're saying you're answering my question with a question, but I would sit there and say, oh, but because you're my woman, my children are going to garner a certain level of respect for you, and you should know that you are the woman of this house. That, you said, to me, that is a description of them being an asset to you. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
And so I just think for me, I can only speak for me, like that would be because you don't get that question, right?
Hmm.
And probably right then, like your mind is not going to click, like, well, dang, this is, I feel like just be honest. Well, you know what? I never thought of that. That's how she should have answered that. Because in that moment, and you're right on the spot, your mind could already be going in a million different ways.
Hmm.
So I wouldn't be like, oh my God, just going straight defense mode. I would honestly be like, I've never thought of that. I just don't know how to answer that question right now.
Hmm.
And I think that would have been better perceived instead of her just totally flipping like, okay, like it's okay.
Like she's literally, after we get off here, I'll send you the video clip, and you send, and then we'll discuss later on, you said, about it or whatever. And like I said, you said, and especially with the creation of social media and how everything is so polarizing on social media now, we see so many people and so many opinions and this, that, and the third. And you brought up you said, saying that Kevin Samuels may have messed some men's minds up, or I'm paraphrasing, but you said just. But would you rather have somebody trying to speak, you said, highly into the brothers, trying to make them think higher of themselves, or on the flip side of that coin, do you said, want to consume a Derek Jackson who's blatantly lying to you?
So I kind of like I said, I get the good and the bad out of everything. I don't think Derek Jackson blatantly lies. I feel like he is the perfect person to put you in the mind of a narcissist.
That,
I think he has one-on-one insight because I see Derek Jackson as a narcissist himself. So I feel like when he is telling us stuff, he is coming from that viewpoint,
mm,
which resonates with a lot of women. Um, telling a hard, I think, delivery is a big thing.
mm,
And I just think with KS, his delivery was brutal sometimes. And I think that was overall, like sometimes, like I could be watching his stuff and I could be into it, like, oh, okay, I see where you're going.
mm,
Okay. And then he'll just do something that just totally turns me off. Like, nah. why you had to do this? I was
But do you think like Kevin Samuels was taken out of context because using the only clips that went viral was him checking delusional women for the most part?
Do you think I don't think all the women was delusional though.
I think the ones that went the most viral were.
Some I think very much so. I was like, oh no, this chick is fucking crazy. Like, so it's like I don't know. Some were and some not. The first woman he went viral for, I was not feeling that at all. I was not. I was not. But I believe in giving people chances. So I continue to watch some of his content because I feel like you can learn a little bit from everything, right?
Exactly.
And a lot of women said they did learn a lot from him. And I'm not going to lie, I have honestly learned some things. But once again, it's a lot of really delusional men out there.
I mean,
If you date, like, I'm a bigger woman, right? So I'm supposed to date a certain type of guy. And I think this is the problem because I have done trial and error, okay? Okay, so let me, if this is the type of guy I'm supposed to date, let me try this, right?
mm-hmm.
And they be like, kid you not, I was dating this guy. I was talking to this guy. He probably was about, and I am a bigger woman who likes slender men, okay? I normally don't go for the bigger dudes, but I'm like, okay, so let me try to stick to what they say is supposed to be on my level, okay? But I really didn't feel like this person was on my level, but I'm like, oh, okay, let me see if I can work with this. But come to find out, like, he was delusional. He was living at home with his auntie, with his sister, didn't have a car at the time. He was like, I want to say 300 plus pounds. And I'm like, okay, let me see if I can work with this. But tell me, like, I am not his type. He don't take women who look like me out. And I was like, oh. Okay. Well, you should definitely date your type, and whatever you gotta do to get with your type, you should do that. I was kind of doing a little better than this when I was dating type of dude. At least I could go out and trust me, there are dudes that look better than you. Not that I told him this because I didn't want to be disrespectful. I just But this is what I was thinking, like, oh, this is interesting. I gave another dude a chance. My requirement is dating. If you don't like, this is how I am. If you don't want to date me, I am totally okay with that. But leave me alone. Like, go find who you want to date and stuff. The problem issue I have is you get these guys, like, you would clearly state your standards. And I'm not like, oh, I'm too good for the Cheesecake Factory. I'm not even too good for Chili's. As long as it's something that I enjoy doing, I am happy doing it, right?
Right.
I'll clearly state, like, we have to date. And guys just think like that's a joke.
Right.
And they keep coming after me. And I'm like, you have to date me. And if you want to date me, trust me, I'm okay with that. And they will, like, literally keep trying everything under the sun. And I'm like, I'm not going to lower my expectations. I'm okay with being alone. Like, I want what I want. I expect what I expect. I done tried the dating the men that y'all say are on my caliber, and they are, I keep saying this, freaking delusional. Like, the one guy I was dating, he had his own car, he had his own apartment. He did take me out on dates because that was a requirement. But then, kid you not, we get into it, and he like, you think you act like you a bad bitch. I'm like, oh,
So,
because I have standards. Like, you didn't have your license, so I'm like, okay, we got to work on you getting your license.
mhm.
Like, there's more to see than the city of Detroit. You've never really been out the city. I was like, it's stuff to do. It's a big world out here, and I done start exploring it. And I want you to be a part of that. I enjoy getting up, like, hey, let's hit the road. And
Mhm.
I want us to be able to do that. And yeah, he was just very delusional. Like, I am not supposed to have any type of standards,
Right.
but I do.
I
And
mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but I also think that you should not be crucified for said standards, because you say a lot of times, especially on social media, if you put my standards are X, Y, and Z, you're going to get somebody in your comment section to tell you why you shouldn't have your standards. You know what I'm saying? And
and,
it's to me that's a stupid fucking concept to have.
and
You know,
that's what I agree. And if you don't like my standard, guess what? Just scroll right on past me.
mhm.
Don't expect me to lower it or change it because of what you think of me. I am not that. I have once been that person, but I'm definitely not that person anymore. Like, this is what it is, and I'm willing to be by myself if I don't get that. I've been by myself, doing it by myself, and I'm definitely not about to do it with no dude next to me. So either we're gonna help each other be our best person,
Mhm.
or I'm straight. And it's like a lot of dudes just do not want to do that.
Mhm. Well, you said something I just thought about just right now on the spot. You said, if you can't accept my standards, go stand over there. Period.
It, but you will be amazed at how many guys do not go and stand over there
Mhm.
and want to get mad at me because I'm the way I am.
Well, I think that that boils down to maybe the fragile male ego, and it is crazy as hell because we're in it. Because now we can actually talk about our feelings, you know what I'm saying, or use the traumas and triggers and things like that, which is the same reason why, like the plumber guy that
Mm,
allegedly you said got fired from his job with you, and I was getting ready to book him as a guest for this show here, and I found out he was a scammer. I rescinded all of that shit. No,
and
sir.
like, be and that's the crazy part. Like, the one guy, um, he eventually, this was before we got into it real bad, because we'll talk for a minute and then stop talking, talk for a minute, and then start back talking. And then he was like, well, you should be driving an Audi car by now. I'm like, well, what are you driving? I'm like, first of all, because the last time I met you, you had a Charger or Challenger, I think, and it was
Mhm.
broke down sitting in front of the house. I've always kept a car. Whether something happened, I'm right back getting a car. Me, I'm not about the looks of being rich. I want to be rich.
Mhm.
like I want to be well off. So I don't want to look like I'm well off and be broke. If I'm driving an Audi, because that is
Mhm.
my car, like that, I love that car.
Mhm.
You better believe my bank account is going to say. So when I pull out with that Audi, just know my bank account is saying we got this Audi and more. If
Mhm.
I'm not there, you're not about to see me with no Audi. And that's just how I am. And a lot, like, the delusionalness is real. It's very real.
Well, you said like the being a woman. Like, we'll keep talking on the Balloon Pop show. Just like how can you understand how, especially when like, because one thing I disagreed with you said with the plumber guy is just when she said, when one of the girls said you're not my type, he said, well, you're not my type either, but you did me a favor though, and that just pretty much set the whole thing downhill. Now, to
Because
me, it's a little sassy, but it's it wasn't that punch in the gut that they took it as.
um I didn't think so either, but I think this is just what I think, right?
Mhm.
I think because he wasn't a super attractive dude, he wasn't the standard dude, like the tall dude, this, that, and the whatever. The same thing with women. You know, whatever woman is up there, you should be more than happy to be with, is what I kind of got from that. So when he said he wasn't attractive to she wasn't attractive to him, I just think it was a more like, what, how dare you type situation. Right. And but I don't think he did nothing wrong. Like, if you watch other shows, they do the same thing. So what was so different about him? Like, just because she a nice looking girl to y'all, clearly he got what he liked. He has his type. Whether you thought he was lying or what, maybe she really wasn't his type. Maybe she is a beautiful girl, but not his type of beautiful girl. That could be very possible. But then people are super narrow-minded, and because of, I think it was the way he looked. Like, oh, you like, she a dime piece for you. Like, that's what I got from that.
Now, one thing I had gotten prior in my past, you said, was, and I still see it to this day, if men having the standards, I don't want to deal with a woman with especially younger children. For one, I don't want that responsibility. And for two, you know what I'm saying? It's just because let's be real here. Because if you get into a relationship with a single mother, you're never going to be first, ever.
So
that's why you laughing, because you know I'm telling the truth.
I don't think so. I was recently dating a guy, and he told me that he thinks the issue is that I put men before my children, and I was like in shock. In shock. Like, I make time for both of you. I do. I pride for me, and that's just for me. It is a hard thing to do. Me being a single mother, like, I always lead with that because it is a lot. It is a lot on a person coming to the relationship, and I understand it's a lot for the single parent. So just imagine someone coming into the relationship. It is a lot. Like, one guy who I was very much into, younger than me, had no kids. We were very much into each other, and what I thought about what he needed for his life was not what I could bring to his life, not with the kids and everything. It was a lot. I think people need to be real. Single mothers need to be kind of realistic when it comes to those things, because you're not just bringing you, like, you are bringing a whole group that require things that you have to do, and you're going to want them to love your kid just as they would love you. So I think you have to be realistic with that when dating and who you're choosing to date. Maybe if it was an older guy, I would prefer to date a man with kids, honestly, because I do think about other people. And when he told me that was a thing that scared him, I was like, as it should. Like, as it should, because it's a whole different realm. It's the men, you by yourself, you've dated women with no kids all this time. And even though I knew the love he had for me, I feel like if I was to become a part of his life, he would not be able to elevate the way he needs to because of what comes with.
Now, like, what are some of your, like, deal breakers? Like, you getting to know somebody, and he's like, what are the red flags that are instant deal breakers?
For me, an indecisive person, a male who is not a strong leader. Because I can be indecisive because, look, I play so many roles, right, for people. So with my partner, I just want to know, like, hey, babe, I just ordered this for dinner. This what we having. And I'm going to be like, cool, babe. Thank you. I'm going to be so, like, little things like that to me matter. all right, we having a date night. This is where we going. I don't really like a guy to be like all the time.
Mm.
You want to go? What you want to do? And my last person, I was like, he did that all the time, and I don't think how much I realized it drove me crazy
Mm.
until him. Like, you decide. Tell me what we're doing. Um, that's my biggest one. Like, be able to make plans and do stuff and just be like, this what we doing.
Right. Well, do you think that like that's kind of like somewhat of an oxymoron? 'Cause you just said that you were indecisive, and so if I'm constantly, let's say I'm constantly, where do you want to eat? I don't know. You said you pick the place. Okay, let's go to Taco Bell. Well, no, I don't want Taco Bell. Well, let's go to KFC. Well, no, I don't want KFC. Well, let's go to Chili's. Well, no, I don't. So
No.
then if I sit there, it's like, no, we're going to, you said we're going to Ruth Chris. Well, I don't really feel like Ruth Chris today. Well, God damn it, what the fuck?
Exactly. But now I'm not like that. I'm like, whatever you choose is fine. Because me, I'm going to find something I like on the menu.
Okay.
I am going to find something I like on the menu, no matter where I go. Because I am a foodie. And I like all different types of food. So I'm not a hard person to please if it's food. I also like to do activities though. You can be like, okay, we're about to take a drive and go to the museum. Do you know how happy that makes me? I love museums. Hey, we just about to hit the road and go for a ride and listen to some cute, like, know me. And I feel like a person who does that has not chosen to learn me.
Mhm.
Because if you choose to learn me and you really pay attention, you will see the simple things that makes me happy.
Mhm.
And you would then know, like, oh, okay, I know if I do that, she's gonna love this. I know if I do, and it could be the simplest of things.
Mhm. Okay, let me ask you this because you said like right now you said we're still in the midst of this explosion that is Kendrick Lamar right now. Okay.
Okay.
And he is like as a YouTuber, I watch other YouTubers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you said let's say you were in a relationship with a YouTuber. You said, because you can do YouTube at any age. You said just so you know, it's not a kid's game. It's not it's for everybody.
Okay.
Now, when that video came out, I pulled this truck over so I could react to that video. Let's say you're in a relationship with a YouTuber and Kendrick Lamar drops a video that you said is literally probably going to go viral on his channel, and you're in the middle of dinner, babe, I got to get home. Kendrick just dropped. How do you handle that situation?
Where you about to go? This is business. If that is his business,
Mm-hmm.
and something viral that could possibly put him up, are we about, okay, now let me get this stuff off the table. Let me get our, let's go. Like, we're gonna go.
Mm-hmm. So like you're in the middle of y'all on the living room and or whatever, and y'all just chilling, and y'all cuddled up, and that same thing happens to y'all, and it to a degree it ruins the night for you technically, but you know what I'm saying, it's like.
So if we're together and we're locked in, we're going to have time to make that up. That is a chance you may never get back again.
Mm-hmm. And you see, the reason I asked that because a lot of people in general are selfish. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I've talked to people on the side, and they've literally said, "Oh no, the relationship is over with." You said you're gonna put your job over me? Well, how are we supposed to eat? You know what I'm saying?
I want a successful man, like so. I think at that point you need to determine what type of man you want. Because if you're going to have a successful person who's out here in the business world, who is out here doing his thing, you're going to have to understand that comes with it.
Right. I mean, it's like because you even get that with a doctor. Let's say you said you're a baby doctor, and you get that call in the middle of the night or in the middle of dinner. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just brought up a YouTuber because actually that's what I'm doing right now. But still, I mean, like you have that kind of stuff when it comes to other areas, situations. Like you could be a freaking the sergeant, or chief of police or something like that. You've got to leave in the middle of dinner. You got to leave in the middle of so like, and I think a lot of times it's just like I think it's because people are insecure and they want everything about them. And I think those are the type of people, you know what I'm
That
saying,
you took the words right out of my mouth. It's definitely an insecure thing. And I'm not gonna say I've never been there, but then you have to make some hard decisions and learn yourself and grow, right? At
Mhm.
some point in your life, you have to start growing and ask yourself, what do you really want in your life, right?
Mhm.
What type of man do you want in your life? Well, okay, what comes with this type of man? Can you deal with this stuff from this type of man? Because you can't just be like, oh, I want a type of man that do this. And then when you get that and everything that comes with them, you like, you complaining, you nagging. That's not what you're there for. Like, you should be there to support your partner, push him to be his best at whatever he is doing, especially if he's a type that is a go-getter, that is a provider. Um, you should be that safe haven for him.
Mhm.
You should be that strong person in his corner, but also know how to be subtle with it.
Facts.
So I think that's, a lot of, unfortunately, I'm going to go here. For a lot of Black women, we weren't taught that, right?
Mhm.
But at some point, you got to make the decision to just want and do and become better.
Right. I mean, that's just big facts. But it's like, what are some of the things that you expect? You saying like what you like once you get past the straight talking stage, you saying like, and y'all are kind of y'all are spending more time together. Like, let's say you've gotten past the point where you're intimate. You say like, what is certain things that you expect? Is like, are you expect the good morning texts, or you know what I'm saying, it just to
I,
check on throughout the day? You know, say like, what are some of the things that you look for?
I'm sorry. Depending on what your life look like, yes, I expect communication throughout the day.
Mm.
Do I every hour on the hour? No, but I at least want to know, like, you thought about me during your day.
Mm.
Like, hey, babe, I can't talk right now. I just want to let you know I thought about you. I am cool with
Mm.
that. I'm good enough. Soon as I get a moment, we'll chat a little bit. For me, it depends on where you're at in your life and what you have going on. Now, if you're somebody who's just sitting home watching TV all day and I just don't ever hear from you, I will have
Mm.
an
Okay, so I guess you subscribe to that meme that I guess it was a man don't really give a damn about you if he can go a whole day without talking to you.
I don't. Men are complicated.
Mm.
And I think you need to be a good reader of men. Um, a man can think about you in an instance, and depending on what's going on in their life, like, they might not send that text. If we're in the talking phase, I don't expect that all the time. But if we're past the point where we're intimate and headed into a relationship, I feel like there's no reason why I shouldn't at least hear from you once a day.
Okay. Now you said with me being a truck driver, it's kind of because I'm not home every day.
Mm-hmm.
I'll come back to that. I want to ask this other question first. What do you think is an adequate amount of time before he needs to pop that question?
At the age I am, I will give it a year to 2 years.
Mm.
If that question is not popped by a year to 2 years, I am out.
Okay.
I am out. I'll give you a year to 2 years.
Okay.
After
Now
Go ahead.
I saw another story where a woman, I guess they were together 5 years or something like that, and she kept giving him the ultimatum, and then she like I guess stood on business with her ultimatum. If you don't pop the question in 30 days, you know what I'm saying, I'm moving to Las Vegas. He helped her pack, and
He,
she
he never had any intentions. 5 years?
yeah. Well,
Ne-
his thing, they were like 20 and 21. So they were literally just starting to try to get established, but she wanted to be married so bad, so bad, so bad. And he was like, I want to be able to get you a house, you said, before we take that step. And he's, like I said, now that they're in their 40s, like they're best friends now. But you know, said it was like, and she was like, she now looking back on it, she feels bad because I wish I had not have, he said, done it, because you said, you get what I'm saying?
Years though, no, that's a long time. What are you? So I don't know. I'm sure they're already living together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they're establishing what they're establishing, right?
Right.
So why not be married? I think 5 years is a long time to just get out. I feel like at that point you're waiting to see if something better come along. I'm an advocate of that. Like, okay, maybe you're about to get out here in this world and thinking you're going to meet someone better than me. And if that's what you're thinking, then I'm really not your person. I can respect that I'm not your person. Go out there and, do you. No guarantee I'm going to be back or no guarantee how I'm going to move. But I at least want you to be true to yourself and figure out, is it really something out there?
So even if the reasoning is legitimate about him, you say, I really want to establish, you saying having a house, and you can legitimately see him working towards that goal, but it might not be in the time frame that you want it because you want it right now. Do you think that's you said?
So here's the issue. It's because of the material stuff that you want right now. Because I feel like with the right partner, you should be able to obtain everything that y'all want to obtain. If y'all are a group, if y'all are partners, y'all have no kids, it should be easier for y'all to obtain that together. So no, 5 years, no. It's a no for me.
That's definitely understandable. Okay, now, with me being a truck driver, I'm gone. You said pretty much all week. Oh, you good? I'm gone pretty much all week. Now, how often do you need to see somebody that you're with?
If it's about business, I'm very understanding. If it's about business, I'm very understanding. Like, I'll see you when I see you. And it's going to be amazing when I see you. That's all I can say. Like, once again, it depends on what caliber of a guy you want, right? And you understanding what comes with that caliber of guy. Especially if you with a trucker, shoot, sometimes you might not see him for a month. And long as I can communicate with you, check on you, make sure you're okay. Home is running great over here. When you get home, it's gonna be lovely. See you when you get back, babe. Just be safe out there. Am I going to worry my head over what you're doing on the road? Nope, I'm not. See you when you get home.
Now, see, I think this is a young person's game because you said me, I'm 41, but I think it's like I know truck driver buddies of mine that their women have to have all their social media passwords, their Gmail passwords, all kind of goofy shit like that. Well, it's not goofy because sometimes it comes from the trauma that the woman may have came into the relationship with, but it also may have come from you saying certain things that guy has done. So, but I think that I guess I said it's goofy because I think that if you need all of that, y'all don't need to be together.
Exactly. So, because I'm gonna be honest, I have came from that person to the person who I am today. First of all, that is a controlling that definitely shows insecure, and you got some deep issues that you're definitely bringing from past relationships into this relationship. But I had to figure out, like, why do you need all this stuff, right? I think this is a question every woman, what do you need it for? That's a big question you should ask. So with you needing this, do you really trust your partner? And my answer was already no. I want to be with someone where, you know, if that's what they choose to do, that's what they choose to do.
Mm,
They don't, I'm okay with it either way.
mm.
Cause one thing is for sure, what's done in the dark is gonna always come to the light. It may
Okay.
be a moment, but trust me, it finds its way to that light. And you ain't gotta do no work to get it. Cause it's gonna come,
Absolutely.
gonna come.
Now, piggybacking off of that, because because like with my show, I do not script the questions. I pretty much I'll start off with a specific topic and then I'll just go from there. So whatever just comes in my head, we just kind of go from there. Now, another YouTuber I watched, he put out a video the other day and people lost their minds in it. He said, as a heterosexual man, if you watch heterosexual porn, you are somewhat gay because you have to look at another man's tip to get off. What do you think about that?
Looking at another man's tip though, I think it's the act. I don't believe. I think you get off of the act. Now maybe it's something. So I think it's something wrong with him, and he may be a little gay, and he might need to question himself. Because I that men think about that part when they're watching porn.
I'm not even gonna cap to you. I don't. I don't.
I have never. Okay, telling my business here. A guy and he is thinking about another man, like never. That's
These-
weird. So I question him and his sexuality. Like, you looking at? Is that one getting you? Okay.
now we're all adults here. You said no, we're grown. You said now we got all these states passing these restrictive laws, which to a degree I understand. It is like because I was in I started this morning. Well, I got to North Carolina last night.
Mm-hmm.
I've been the past 2 weeks. I've been in North Carolina and South Carolina a couple times.
Okay.
Do you know to get on those sites in North Carolina and South Carolina, they want you to input your ID into the website to verify your age?
Stuff is changing so much these days. That's insane, but I can understand it. I can definitely understand it. Having a younger boy at home, I can definitely understand it.
I mean, I've got 5 kids and 4 of my kids are girls, so trust me, I understand. You said,
Right.
you,
I
you
have
just,
girls. I mean, 2 girls, 1 boy.
you said because you. Oh God, I would hate to get that call from school. Mr. Smith, yeah, your son, who's 10 years old, is using big titties on. Oh
It's not a call that you want to get. And you, I mean,
no.
a dad, but a mom getting that call, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, or seeing something like, how do I deal with this? I'm not a guy.
Mhm.
And thank God it's women parts.
Right.
That's what I was more like, oh my God, thank God it's women parts. Not
Mm.
I'm saying nothing is wrong with anything. Love that community to get dealt, most of it. But still, it's just a relief. Like, oh, okay. So, but man, how do you have that conversation as
Mm.
mom having that boy?
Exactly. Now, as a black woman, you saying we do live in the era where you saying the LGBTQIA plus community, which I normally just call the alphabet people, because
It's too much. Go ahead.
yeah, and you like one of my last guests was you saying was Miss Alice. Now, Alice is a transgender woman. Now, I asked a question and she took it very well, but
Mm-hmm.
you as a black woman, the question I asked was you you said identify as a woman, so you feel like you are a woman. What is the difference between what you're doing and a white person putting on blackface? Now, how do you take that question?
Um, so look, because I get to, so honestly, people get to looking at me as if I don't like the LGBTQ, but
Mm,
I just feel like some things are going too far.
mm,
Some things are just that would never be allowed with straight people is in a lot with the LGBTQ community, and that's where I tend to have an issue at. But if you really pay attention, a lot of that community have issues with a lot of stuff that's going on in their realm as well. I actually I watched that one. I think that's the one you sent me. And I actually liked her. I could get along with people like that who is aware. You know, yes, I know this is what I am, but you know, this is who I choose to be. I'm okay with people like that. For me, I just gotta be honest. I think it's something that's kind of mentally wrong with someone who wants you to just believe like this is like they were a person that was born.
Sorry, you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. My apologies. But I am all for. I'm not God, and I don't judge. You know, I leave that for God if you believe in God. But I am opinionated, right? As long as you're happy, I don't want to tell a person how to be happy, right? I just don't. Whatever you do is you. I got enough of this. Is why I got enough of my own sins to answer for. I'm not trying to answer. Like you have yours and I'll figure out mine, you figure out yours. As long as you are a good human being and a rational human being, that's all that makes sense to me. It's when they get mad at you, like if you were born a male, right? And to me, you still look very strongly like a male. And I'm gonna say him or her, if you him and you have like you go into a full meltdown because I said him, I start to question your mental.
You remember that video in that GameStop a few years ago where you said what the cashier called the trans woman sir, but would literally look like a goddamn linebacker.
Exactly.
And he was like, "It's ma'am."
No, it's not. Like that is what irritates me because a place I worked at, you know, they hired a transgender woman transitioning to a woman, had more ass and fucking titties than me. And you gonna get mad because I'm like her. If I see ass and titties, like, what do you think I'm gonna say? Like, I'm not seeing no him. And this person, like, we would literally have meetings about this person. And it's like, you are delusional. Back to my word I started with. You can't be this delusional. There is no surgery. Give me your booty and your boobs. You know, just don't want them. Just give them to me. Right? But you have them, like you, and they are bigger than the average. So when we see you, I'm sorry, I'm just not going to be like, okay, this is a him. That's not what I see.
Like one thing that's funny to me, and it's something I will never understand. And I didn't delve into this question with Miss Alice, but I'm sure she's going to watch this video. Now it's like when you run into a lesbian that's portraying themselves as a male. If a heterosexual man still hits on them, they'd be like, "Gone with that gay shit."
Gay when you like the same sex, you do realize you are and that's why I think there is a lot of mental illness around that community. Did you see the one where the Caucasian guy, school teacher, was wearing a dress and he has these prosthetic breasts that's like down to his knees and he's teaching wood shop? In what world? But then we see a black teacher who is stacked. I mean, she was beautiful. Nice body, wearing regular clothes, but because of her shape, y'all fired her.
You talk about that basketball coach, right?
Yes, it was. Y'all fired her because
Mm-hmm.
she has this shape, naturally or not. She got the shape. It's a nice shape. Not she wearing long dresses. She wearing jeans. Like, I don't know what y'all want her to dress like, but she get fired. And this teacher was allowed to work like that for I don't know how long. Didn't even think twice about firing the teacher until I think social media got involved. What made y'all think that was okay?
Exactly. Now, off of the dating subject for it, you said a quick little second, while we're winding down. Do you think your thoughts and opinions on social media should affect your employment?
I think it depends. I think it depends. We are living in an era where people are so freaking sensitive. Like, they have no backbone. I think if you're not talking about shooting and killing somebody or harming somebody, I think it should not. I feel like everybody, I'm sorry, is entitled to their opinion. And at the end of the day, they are just opinions. It's one person opinions. It's not nothing that you have to live by, that you have to go by. And if your mind is easily persuaded like that, maybe you shouldn't do social media.
I agree. Now you said I have friends who are you saying liberal. I also have friends who are conservative, and things like that. A lot of my far right leaning conservative friends, like I've had to answer this question I don't know how many times, and I try to stay off of politics, but I bring this up because it's fucking hilarious to me. They'll sit there and be like, "Oh man, you said, did you know Michelle Obama's a man?" Okay, what the fuck that got to do with me? No, I'm gonna tell you, like, dude, if you look up on the internet, you'll see Michelle Obama's got a dick. I'm like, bruh, I look up a lot of shit on the internet. Dick is not one of them. You go ahead with that, because at the end of the day, that's Barack problem. If Michelle was a man, that's Barack problem.
Exactly. And that's clearly what he liked. He got to deal with it, not you.
And I'm like literally like my it's I just find that said just funny said within itself, and I usually bring that up because it's fucking hilarious to me. Now, as we're winding down, you said we talked about your deal breakers. You said we talked about what you like. What do you feel is your biggest asset to bring into a relationship?
My biggest asset is I am, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm like a transformer, right? I can easily fit into my person if I could wear all hats. If you need me to take the lead, I could take the lead. If you need me to sit back and like whatever my person needs, I have them. I'm very diversified in that area. Even though I like my man to be more manly and take the lead, I also understand, as being a person who is in the lead, like, it can get tired sometimes. So I know there is a way to do things where it doesn't have to be so masculine all the time. And just being my person's biggest support in however he needs me to be his support.
Okay.
Being understanding is a big thing, and communication is a very big thing for me. Whether it's what I want to hear or not, being as honest as possible with me, whatever it is, because I feel like we can't get through nothing if we're not being honest with each other. Even when it hurts. Like, even when it hurts, because I'm not going to feel happy about you all the time, and you definitely not going to feel happy about me all the time.
Right.
But how do we resolve that? What's your style of resolving issues? What is that like for you? Because I don't want to be in a yelling match every time there is an issue. I want to be able to talk. Also, not throwing stuff back in your face. I hate that. I hate that. If you are my person and I am yours, we should be able to trust each other with almost anything. And I feel like sometimes you got to have your bros or your girls, but I also feel like it's important to have the right bros and girls that you are talking to about situation. But I always want, when I have my partner, our unit to just be so strong and unbreakable, where we stand strong with us and also have a life outside of us. I think that is important. You being able to be your authentic self and me being able to be my authentic self and us coming together as one.
Okay, I like that. Now, this last question before we get up out of here.
All right.
Okay. How would you handle this situation, and what advice could you give to other women? Say your man, he likes nudes or you to dress provocatively, like when it's just y'all two. And let's say you love your man, but maybe you're not, you said, all the way comfortable with your body to be sending that kind of stuff. Like how would you handle that with him? And then what advice would you give to other women when it comes to that?
So I've been there before, but I feel like shit. He knew what you look when he met. So clearly he was cool with all it's how you gotta take it. Okay, so you knew what I look like before even this. You see this, so clearly you already had to like it. So it's already a confidence in that for me. So yes, I'm doing whatever you want me to dress in. If you like nudes, I mean, men like variety. I do know. Just because you might like the way another woman look, don't mean you don't like the way I look. I'm a person that's okay with nudes. Nudes do not bother me. I might look at them with you, like, oh, okay, she's not a bad looking. Okay, I can see why you. I think you just have to come to a place where you are super secure. Once you get to that place, I think you will realize how freeing it is. Like how free a man is going to, if he's going to be loyal to you, if that's him and who he is, that's what he's going to do. If that's not who he is, you have some decisions to make. Is that something you can put up with? Is he 8 out of 10? Is it your non-negotiable? Like, you have to know yourself, I think, to be able to be in a good relationship, because every relationship ain't a bunch of roses.
Absolutely.
The boy Dub Deuce in the building.
People are looking for people to be perfect, and there is no such thing as perfect. And I think once people realize that, you'll start to see things a lot different. So what's perfect for me? What is my non-negotiables? What is my deal breakers? You have to figure that out for you and go by that.
Big facts. Now, with that being said, if you guys made it to this part of the video, make sure you smash that like button, consider subscribing, and you saying joining the gang.